Shalom, dear intercessors and watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem. Thank you for standing with us during this very turbulent time in Israel, as Israel is now going into new national elections in the coming months. We are greatly encouraged by what we saw happen in Sweden when we prayed that the Swedish government, which had recognized the state of Palestine, a terrorist state, without making peace with Israel, that we saw it fall, and there's going to be new elections also in Sweden now in the coming months. One of the intercessors wrote to us and told us about a vision that he had on the day of fasting and prayer that we announced for the Swedish government to fall on November 9. He saw how angels went into the House of Parliament in Stockholm and threw out the government and cast it into the waters outside of the House of Parliament. Now, that is a very interesting vision because, and he said also that I do not usually have visions, so this was a great encouragement to me. Well, this is what exactly Yeshua, Jesus, is talking about in Mark chapter 11 after he had cursed the fig tree. We're going to read from verse 22 in Mark chapter 11. "Have faith in God," Jesus answered. "I tell you the truth. If anyone says to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him." The interesting thing is that governments are likened in Scripture to mountains. And so what is talked about here in this verse is exactly what we saw when the Swedish government was defeated through fasting and prayer. And so we take this as a great encouragement now to pray for Israel, but also continue to pray for Sweden, that we will see an Israel-friendly government established there after the elections in March. We mentioned last week in our video alert that Sweden and Scandinavia, as one of the ends of the earth, has a special calling to be a blessing to Israel, as it says in Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 11, "God proclaims to the ends of the earth, say to Zion, your salvation comes." So Scandinavia is one of the ends of the earth from Jerusalem, and they have a calling to proclaim salvation to Israel and to become an encouragement for the Jewish people. Now, it's not a coincidence that the greatest curse politically that has come upon Israel since the nation was founded in 1948 is called the Oslo Accords. It came out of Scandinavia. Actually, the initiative was taken in Sweden, and it later became the Oslo Accords, because the devil wants to prevent the calling that he has on Scandinavia to be a blessing for Israel. So we encourage you to stand with us in prayer now, that we will see a miracle, an even greater miracle than the fall of the present government, and that is that we will see a government in Sweden that will bless Israel and become a support for Israel. The Israeli UN ambassador Prosor gave a speech, a very powerful speech recently in the UN, where he accused Europe of failing the Jewish people again in their time of crisis, just like during the Holocaust. Right now, more nations in Europe are beginning to follow the example of Sweden to recognize this terror state, Palestine, without making peace with Israel. Palestine has on its agenda to destroy the nation of Israel, and let's not make any have any doubts about that. So we need to pray at this time that this situation will change. Now we also need to pray then for the government, or for the situation in Israel, that we will see a strong right-wing government be established in the elections in March, because Israel is going to need that in the very turbulent times that the nation is going into at this time and in coming years. And we believe that only a strong nationalistic right-wing government can accomplish that defense for Israel. Finally, we want to mention also a very, very important prayer topic in the Elijah Prayer Army, and that is our upcoming tour to the Feast of Tabernacles in Jerusalem next year, 2015. During that tour, we are going to have a special manifestation in Jerusalem in support of the Jewish people's right to their most holy place, the Temple Mount or Mount Zion. We are entering into a very, very important spiritual battlefield here. And so we ask all of you in the Elijah Prayer Army to pray for this trip to the Feast of Tabernacles in Jerusalem next year, and also that you make plans to be with us at that tour. We will soon announce more details on our website, but the dates are September 24 to October 6. So make plans to be with us for this very, very historic tour. Thank you for standing with us, and we ask that God will bless you and anoint you in intercessory prayer for Israel at this time. Shalom.